America, whether you want to believe it or not, Big Brother is watching. This morning here in Detroit, a friend of mine just had his house raided by the ATF. What I didn't know is that this friend or acquaintance of mine had a felony from 20 years back. But the law states that felons are not supposed to be in possession of or around firearms. Although all the rifles in his home belonged to his wife, they were purchased by his wife, he still, by law, is not supposed to be anywhere near them. Ignorance of the law will not be tolerated on both sides of the law, whether you're in law enforcement or a civilian. It's up to us to know the rules of the road if we're going to travel down them. We all know as responsible gun owners that felons aren't supposed to be in possession of firearms, no matter what the felony. And it doesn't state whether the felony came from a violent crime, white-collar crime. It doesn't matter. In the eyes of the government, a felony is a felony. You know, so if we're gonna be responsible gun owners, then up and foremost, we need to learn to, you know, I don't want to use the word obey the law, because just because something is a law doesn't mean it's right. There's a lot of jacked up laws that need to be stricken. There's a lot of laws that lack any type of common sense whatsoever. But since we don't hold the powers, you know, we need to find compromise and learn to get along with law enforcement and the judicial system. And one other thing before I sign off, you know, that my heart still bleeds for those kids. But at the same time, you got to remember that children die every day of gun violence all across America. From our farmlands to our ghettos, kids are being slaughtered. You know, and they're being slaughtered despite the fact that they're innocent. Now, you do have some that are leaving here because they choose to indulge in criminal activities like selling drugs or robbing, carjacking, and that's a shame. You know, but that's life. That's what happens. You know, you commit a crime nowadays against someone, there's a good chance you're going to die. No matter what your age. But the taking of 20 innocent babies' lives is despicable to me. And I love my firearms. I have a lot of firearms. I really, really love my firearms a lot. I love the sport. I love to shoot. It's a great stress relief. I love the challenge of hitting targets, of training, of being prepared for the day when tyranny shows its ugly head. And it doesn't seem to be too far off. If you listen to Obama and some of the pundits on mass media speak. But just stay vigilant. You know, do everything legally. Make sure your paperwork is always in order. You know, dot your I's, cross your T's. Don't give the government any reason to come after you or to label you a so-called threat to national security. You know, the truth will prevail. You know, and for a lot of you that are upset with the NRA for not immediately speaking out, believe it or not, the NRA did the right thing by not speaking out immediately. This was not the time to politicize the deaths of those children. And that's what's wrong with America now and the politicians and mass media. You know, everything's about politics. Everything's about the next election, about the Democrats regaining control. And You know, I'm just saddened for this country. It's not the country that I grew up with. It's not the same country that when I was in Boy Scouts I really, really loved. I mean, it's just not the same. But love your family, love your community. Try to be a pillar. Try to be the strength of your community. Be an example. I love you guys and gals. Take care of each other. God bless America.